We get away with some pretty pretty naughty things, but in a way that it's completely appropriate to this world.
So Death Becomes Her is my favorite type of comedy, which is a dark comedy but also a satire. And I kind of wanted to hear about how you go about balancing those things so that it's still sort of wickedly funny, but without causing offense.
The momentum and the humor and the wit, it just feels that it's all baked into a story like this in a way that is wicked. It's really wicked and it's really adult. We get away with some pretty pretty naughty things, but in a way that it's completely appropriate to this world, and because of how big these women, their personalities are, that we can get away with a lot in this show.
So I know how collaboration is so central to the process. Could you talk a little bit about that?
My favorite part of what I get to do is collaborate, especially on a show like this, which is so big and there were so many aspects that we all had to really come together as a team.
If you could give me any suggestions for capturing the show in a still image, what might that be?
I just think of like this kaleidoscope of color and sparkle and with the
Glamour.
feathers and glamour. It just
Yeah.
feels very opulent and vibrant. And then I think the kind of gothic darkness of it, in terms of the columns and that sexy opulence combined with the grotesque.
Yeah.
If I can say, like you have this hole in her stomach and her neck is twisted. So it's the grotesque, but yet sexy.
Yeah. My favorite part of the show, or one of my favorite parts of the show, was Helen being sectioned, or sort of her crazy song when she's on the chair and the whole stage gets sort of suddenly very stark and bare.
It was a fun build to that because we wanted to show Helen hit rock bottom. I wanted to make it as big a gesture as possible so that when everything shuts down, it was very intentional that we just went to this kind of black void with this one neon bar to show like the absolute fall, which then is really fun when she returns, because then it really helped us get the visual of her return in that big red coat and the cape and the hair and the everything. All of that, it just kind of made perfect sense when we just dropped that in our kind of model box. It was like, no, that's it. She gets a silver chair. That's basically it.
Super effective.
Thank you.